So we're looking at a bit of a pause here in this Trump trade, mixed trading action on the day, but lots of records. And you're talking about the fact that it's on hopes and prayers around tax plans and policies. It sounds like you're not a believer.
I haven't been a believer. Full disclosure, I haven't been a believer for a while, but I'm certainly not a believer now. This looks like a euphoric trade. Everybody's piling in, buying stocks they don't have money for with margin that they can't afford. You've got the widest divergence in the markets to the VIX in history. So to me, we're overly complacent that nothing could go wrong. And even if Trump gets all of these things done that he wants to get done, it's not going to happen tomorrow. And what about the $19 trillion in debt we still have to deal with? So there's a lot of issues here before we can start to really get really positive about going forward.
Well, interesting. And you're not alone. Actually, Goldman Sachs today put out a note saying that they think that there could be financial market reconciliation, that the recent gains in the S&P 500 could give back. Morgan Stanley talked about credit markets repricing or mispricing risk yesterday. What's your tell? Everybody's been talking about this possibility, but what signals are you really watching?
What I'm really watching is that margin debt is at record highs, which means that the retail investor is pouring money in that they don't really have. The VIX is almost at all-time lows. It did bounce off it, but it's almost at all-time lows. And the divergence between the VIX and the general markets indicates that everybody believes that the markets will never go down again and that this time is different. And we all know that it's never different. The markets will go up eventually after they sell off. But at this particular time, I think new money at these levels would be very risky.
So would you keep old money on the table? And in terms of new money, where would you put it? Cash, or is there some other sort of defensive trade out there that you like?
Well, you know, I think old money, you stay in the market. If you're an investor, you can live through the trials and tribulations as long as you've done your homework or you hedge what you have in the market. I'm not a big fan of trying to guess the next great one. As far as places I'm looking at right now, there is not a lot that I'm looking at. I'm really putting money in silver right now, and I'm looking for some beaten down equities. Some of the mining stocks like Freeport-McMoRan has now been beaten down a little bit. I'm looking to maybe step into something like that. But right now, I'm really more on the sidelines looking for an opportunity to get short.
Interesting. So playing it safe right now and watching what develops. So as for your trade, Herbalife, they report tomorrow, and you have a bearish trade. I've never heard of this, called a broken butterfly.
It's actually, we call it a broken wing butterfly. And what we're doing is we're going to sell the at-the-money straddle. And this is all for this week. It expires on Friday. We're going to sell the at-the-money straddle, the 61, 3 times each. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go out to the 63 call and buy 3. That gives us basically a short call spread, and we're going to go buy the 59 put, and we're going to buy 4, which gives us an extra put. We're going to get a big credit in here for about $3.50 worth of credit. If we sit and do nothing, we'll get to keep the credit. If the stock goes straight up, we're going to lose some money. If the stock goes straight down, we get to get paid on the extra put we own. So there's a lot of ways to play this, and I am bearish because we are at the upper end of this range in this chart. I do believe that they've already priced in the earnings. I don't think they can manage to beat the number that they're going to post.
Interesting stuff. And very quickly, going back to your thoughts on the markets from a bearish perspective, you're talking about a potential correction. 10%, 15%, 20%? Are you willing to put a number on it?
I'm looking for well over 20% in this move. I think the longer we continue to try to push forward on an air pocket, I think the bigger the correction is going to be. Right now, I'd be looking at somewhere just a shade over 20%.